Hey everybody, it's Mike Peasall, pastor at Gateway Christian Center here in Goodlettsville, Tennessee. Today is Wednesday, June 17th, and this is Mike's Midweek message. Thanks for joining me today. I'm a little late today because I had a funeral earlier in the day, so I'm just now getting into the office and getting us all done, so thanks for joining me. So today's topic, title is Take a Pause. Okay, so just a few days ago, my wife and I were trying to get her car to the shop. She's only had it 9 months. We've had multiple issues with it. It raises the tension level anytime that we're dealing with that. And so we were going to drive. She was going to drive her car, and I was going to drive my car. And we were going to go to a local guy that we use. And she didn't even get out of the neighborhood, and she just kind of pulled over, and she said, "Hey, look, I just don't feel comfortable driving it. You drive it." And so she's going to get in my car. Now, I've only had my car since like January. She's never driven it. She's ridden in it, but she's never driven it. And she said, I just want to really drive your new car because if something happens, I'll feel bad. And, but again, it's a new car. She's never driven. So then at that point, I was like, okay, fine. I'll drive your car and you drive my car. And so I get in her car. It's been running, and it's running really, really rough. And I'm thinking, I just need to get this where we're going. So I just take off. She knows where I'm going, and so I'm thinking, well, I just need to get there as soon as I can. So as I'm driving there, I don't know what's going on, and so I begin to text back and say, "Hey, are you okay?" And she's like, "I can't find you. Where are you? Where did you go?" And so by the time we get to drop off her car and I get in the car with her and everything, we are kind of at odds with each other because we had two very different priorities. You see, my priority was getting her car as fast and as safely as possible to the destination because I'm concerned it's going to mess up while I'm driving it. Her concern was two-pronged. Number one, she thought she had to follow me in case I broke down. So she's like, "Oh no, I can't find him. How am I gonna help him out if I don't know where he's at and I've lost him?" On top of that, she's never driven my car before. And every car, there's something different about it. It goes into gear differently, so we had two very different priorities. We had the same goal, but we had two priorities that were very different. And so that caused friction. Now look, in every relationship, in every marriage, every relationship, there are going to be times where you have maybe the same goal, but you have different priorities or different ways of going about that. It will cause tension and frustration. So we're leaving there. We're talking kind of to each other, maybe at each other, about what was going on and what were you thinking and why did you do this and why did you. And finally, I just thought I need to take a pause. So I pulled over, I put the car in park, and I just listened to what she was saying. There are times in your and I's life where in every relationship, on the back end, we have to stop and take a pause. We have to be willing to say, "I'm sorry." We have to be willing to really hear what the person is saying, not just pretend like we're hearing what the person said, but really hear what that person is saying. They're important. They're an important person in our life, or we probably wouldn't be as frustrated as we are. But in those moments, we have to take a pause. The scripture that we find in James chapter 1, 19 through 21 says this: "Know this, my beloved brothers, let every person be quick to hear, slow to speak, slow to anger." Now, this should be my life verse because I'm always trying to interject. I'm always trying to jump ahead. I'm always trying to help. I'm always trying to fix. And what that means is I'm busy thinking about a fix instead of listening to the problem. So that's on me, okay? "For the anger of man does not produce the righteousness of God." In those situations, you will find yourself becoming very ungodly, even if it's in a mild way, but still very ungodly because it's like you don't want to hear about the issues. You just care that you be heard in that moment. "Therefore, put away all filthiness and rampant wickedness and receive what meekness the implanted word, receive with meekness the implanted word, which is able to save the soul. So it's just a kind of a quick lesson from my own stupidity. Just want to say to you, we cannot really, you can't avoid every conflict that you're going to have, especially with those that you love. But what you can do is on the other side, when you realize, okay, I realize what's going on, I realize what I've done, you take a pause, you stop, you slow things down, you apologize when necessary and helpful, you listen and make sure you understand, okay, here's where the problem happened. I realized your priority and my priority were not the same priority. I had the same goal, but we didn't have the same priority in that goal. And at that point, you can actually remember that you're actually on the same team, and that's a good place to be. So I just hope that whenever you have some conflicts this week, maybe you'll remember that Mike said to take a pause. I hope you have a great week. I hope you have a great Father's Day, and I will see you next Wednesday.